Okay, hello again. Good to see you from this angle again. But after the lunch, you guys are more sleepy now. I can see yawning all the way. Anyway, this time I want to talk about the DUDE monitoring and notification system of MikroTik, which is totally free. Actually, the main purpose of this presentation is because MikroTik recently, not recently, in last year, has the new version of DUDE. It has much more features, more flexible, more stable. So at the moment there are two versions. One of them is the old version, version 3, which server and client could be in the same machine. But in version 6, you can have the server side in your routers, like cloud CHR router, CHR version or CCR version. But for the client version, you can run it everywhere, on any laptops, even on cloud, through internet, or whatever. No need to talk about myself anymore. I have already done this. Table of content, actually I'm gonna start with DUDE at the end. Also, I want to add something else. What is DUDE? What it does, how it works, how you should work with, and monitoring and notification system, because notification is also the important part of the DUDE and doesn't have pre-configuration. You need to configure by yourself. So basically, what is DUDE? DUDE is monitoring application of MikroTik, which is for free. Not open source, but free. Actually, it has two parts. Basically, DUDE has two parts. Even the old version already had two parts, but both parts were in the same application. It has the client side and also the server side. Server side gets probes and information from different devices, and client, with the client version, you already can check out your data. You can run the server version on x86. You can run it on x86 version, router OS x86. Also, you can run it on CHR version, as well as the CCR series. All CCR series can have the DUDE package. So the package which you install on your router is the server side. Then in client side, no matter Windows, Linux, or even Mac, you can run the client version. Router OS version should be 6.34. Be careful about your router OS version, because old versions cannot support DUDE package. Your router OS version, the router OS of the router which you want to install the DUDE server, should be minimum 6.34. So either in CHR, CCR, or x86, you need to have the version upper than this. What kind of features it has? For example, it has auto discovery. You know that discovery is layer 2. This type of discovery is something like LLDP, a protocol called LLDP, Link Layer Discovery Protocol. So it's a layer 2 protocol. Not only MikroTik, even other devices, when you run it locally in your network, through layer 2, you can discover your router by this protocol, LLDP. Same here, even DUDE also can have discovery. Also, you can have scheduled discovery per day, per week, per month. Automatically, it discovers new devices in your network. I have to, in a bracket, I have to mention that DUDE is not only the monitoring application to monitor your routers, switches, or network devices. You even can monitor mobile phones, laptops, tablets, your clients. It depends what you want to monitor. But basically, yeah, your wireless network, your core routers, your maybe BGP routers, anything you have, also possible to monitor them all. But even end users, because it shows their live traffic monitoring, live, it sends you some alerts, messages, text. So also discovery is important, because in especially big networks, it's not possible that, I mean, it's not that much easy to add like 100 devices, 200 devices. So basically you can discover the whole network, and later on you can change the name, like you can add passwords, or you can change the device name in dude. Dude keeps watching all your layer 3 devices. Means more than layer 2 discovery, also it can monitor your layer 3 devices, no matter through internet, through tunnel, through anything. If the device is accessible, you can monitor it. No matter in your local network, outside, the device should be accessible in layer 3. What is the meaning of accessibility? You just need to be able to ping. If you have a ping of that device, first step is ready to monitor. Later on, for SNMP or some other advanced features, then you need to add advanced configurations. Also supports layer 3 props. It means periodically you can send a live message. For example, periodically in special duration, it sends a prop to device to find out if the device is already alive or not. So you can change also these periods. Supports SNMP version 2, which is the most important version. Also has redirect access to your router OS. With Winbox, it means when you have a dude, you don't need to connect to your router with Winbox separately. Through the dude, you easily can connect to your device, MikroTik device, with Winbox. So the only difference about device, if it's MikroTik or not, it means you have direct access to your device to configure, to do whatever, through Winbox. But if the device is not router OS, so you don't have the management connection, you just monitor it. Here in this presentation we are talking about version 6, although there are lots of same stuff, same features between version 3 and version 6, but version 3 is the legacy devices. There are some fundamental changes with new version, but if you are already compatible with version 6, if you are familiar with version 6, then version 3 is not a big deal for you because configurations could be the same. After successful installation, login page comes up. Successful installation of the client software. Because for the server package, you just need to drag it to your Winbox and reboot your router. It's the same as package installation. You just need to install the dude package. But in client side, after successful installation, the login page comes up. This is the login page to connect to the server. In old version, because the server version and the client one both were in the same application, you could even log in locally, 127.0.0.1 with the loopback address. So same machine could be your server, also could be your client interface. But right now in version 6, you have your server version in your routers. Only 3 versions at the moment. Also, MikroTik is adding this feature in other router board platforms. But at the moment, CHR, CCR, and x86. But client side would be in your Windows or Mac or Linux side. You just need to first log in to your server. Immediately after login, automatic discovery comes up. You don't need to do anything. Automatically discovers your network. It finds any single device, any single reachable device. For example, if you have a Windows with the Windows firewall enabled, you cannot ping that computer, so it doesn't discover. This is the initial requirement. That device should be reachable in layer 3. Means it should be pingable. You may like to discover your network automatically or add everything manually. Also, it's possible to add everything manually if you like. If you're working with legacy version, some of you may have a dude already, but it's in version 3. Basically, they are not compatible. Basically, you cannot use version 3 information or configuration in version 6. But there is the export and import process. You can export the database of your old version and you can import it in your new version. Same config, same maps, same diagrams, everything same. So if you have already deployed version 3, No worries about upgrade. You easily can take a backup of old database and you can restore it in the new server by these two commands. The first one, text import. The second one is all about the discovery also. Or maybe you'd like to change the path of database. Because there is a default path for the database, you may want to change it because of any reason. You can change the directory, direction. If you want to change the path, there is a procedure for it. First, you need to disable the server, move the existing directory first, change the path of directory, and then enable the server again. While the server is enabled, you cannot have this process because it's already in use. This is the main interface of the client side. When you have the client version, this is the main interface. In the left panel, you have all the menus and configurations. In the middle panel, you have your diagram and all the details about devices. Also, you can have the log because Dude server is already the syslog server. It means you can redirect all of your devices logs to this device, then you can manage it here, you can customize it here, you can put them in different locations. This is the proper syslog server. Maybe you don't want to use monitoring feature, but you want the syslog. You still can use Dude. You don't need monitoring, but you need a syslog. Also in MikroTik, if you go to tools logging, you can redirect your logs to somewhere else with the IP address. It uses a special port and protocol. So Dude server is also very practical syslog server as well. In the main menu, I don't want to get through all of them because there are lots of options in here. But most important options, for example, devices. Devices is important. You can have the list of all devices, no matter you have added them manually or they come automatically by discovery, by auto discovery. You can see the list of devices, equipments. Not only in this menu, everywhere in here you can export information. You can export, for example, you need a list of devices with IP addresses, with MAC addresses, if they are active or not, with all information which you have under device menu. You still can export this information. Logs also, log is very big topic here. But log is different with the syslog because syslog is a part of a logging in here. You can have even your events, you can change your actions, or also simply you can save your logs. You know that MikroTik by default already saves logs on the memory. It means when you reboot a router, you're gonna lose your logs. In MikroTik, still there is an option to save logs in the disk, but depends how much free space you have. You can save them on a disk, you can store them on a disk, but also this is another option because your server has enough space and you can redirect all your network logs to your Dude server. Same as device list, there are some other lists. For example, address lists. You may need to have the list of IP addresses, IP subnets, ranges you have, or the list of admins, users, the list of users that, not users, admins, those who are configuring the system. List of devices, list of files, functions, and so on. In notification menu, you can create a notification by yourself. By default, there is no any notification. You can create by yourself. You may need to get notifications by email. You may want to get text messages. Also, it's possible with some physical configuration, it's possible to have alerts You can set up alerts everywhere. It beeps as much as you want. So notification is also a good part of the dude, because you are not in front of your dude server and 24/7 just watching your dude server. You need to sleep. So better to get notification. For the server side, in here, preferences, you can you can change some options about the server. For example, auto connect at startup, when this client application comes up, does it allow to connect automatically to the server, or you need to connect manually by yourself? Auto reconnect if connection lost, also this is another option. There are multiple options, these options. You can hide it in tray icon in Windows, something about itself. For SNMP, MikroTik already has deployed deployed SNMP fully in Dude. SNMP version 2. You can have a public trap, you can have a private, depends on you. But any SNMP configuration would be available in Dude. So Dude has two ways of monitoring. If you have not configured SNMP, you can monitor your device only in layer 3 by reachability of layer 3. Any information that you can get in layer 3. But once you enable SNMP, you can get much more information. Also, you know that SNMP has a feature, sometimes you even can configure your device in some situation, because it has the management side as well. SNMP has the management side. So Cisco, Juniper, Ubiquiti, any other device, if you have, through SNMP, you may be able to have some small configurations, because SNMP allows some configurations. If you wish to add devices manually, first, you need to provide the IP address. You can select, you can choose any name here, but this is not the identity of the router, but we recommend to use the same identity as your router to not get confused, but you can choose any other name. This is just the name of device. If you do not provide the password, especially password is important when device is MikroTik, because it can get more information. But without providing password, you can get layer 3 information, normal reachability layer 3. How much is the packet lost, it already pings or not, layer 3 information. So by providing the password, especially if the target is MikroTik device, then you're gonna have more management tools. If your device is MikroTik, you have to check router OS. It adds more features as well, more control features. So basically, adding device is just few steps, 2 steps: name, IP address. But if you want to have more specific configurations, for example, in SNMP, you can provide all information, all configuration about SNMP. It's not related to device. Device have already added. Basically, you don't need SNMP. But once you add SNMP, you will have more features and all configurable in here. Also, you can have agent in MikroTik. We have some slides about agent. Assume that you have a network in India. You want to monitor some devices in your India network, but they are locally in their network, and you are behind the NAT. You don't access those devices directly, because there is a kind of edge router between you and those local devices. What you can do, you can use that router which does NAT, you can use it as the agent to reach any other device behind that agent. So you easily can track any device all over the world, even if it's not directly reachable in the internet, even if it doesn't have public IP, even if you cannot reach directly through internet or any layer 3. With this agent option, you can access it with the help of the agent, because agent already has information of that device. You just need to ask the agent. You don't need to access the device directly. But those are basic informations, IP address, name, password. Also, you can have lots of specific informations. For example, you can provide the correct MAC address. Sometimes, because of any reason, you have changed your MAC address, admin MAC address. In MikroTik breach, you can make your own MAC address, 00000 something, because of any reason. For example, security. Then you need to add the MAC address manually in here. Or if the ARP process is already working, you can leave it to ARP. But some other information also, MAC lookup, if device should access through the agent, then you need to provide the agent information, username, password of the device to come, but also it shows the availability, status of the device, how much was online. But how much was online in dude point of view? Maybe that device was online, but the connection to dude was lost. But dude assumed that this device is off or there is a kind of problem. So this diagram may also show the disconnection time of the device, or maybe the disconnection of the connection to dude server. You can have multiple maps. You can import your maps. Maybe you have different floors or different networks. You want to manage them all with one dude server. Why you should buy a lot of routers and have multiple dude servers? You still can have one dude server but multiple maps for multiple networks. Through the map, at the same time, you can check the traffic. You can see all information about connections, because you can have different types of connections. You may have Ethernet, fiber, wireless, or even tunnels. You can monitor your tunnels here. For example, you have EOIP tunnels. So the type of interface, the type of link is also configurable. By default, it has few links: fiber, Ethernet, wireless, or something else, but you can add more: EOIP tunnel, PPP tunnel. Also, you can add the photo per each. And when you keep your cursor on each of these links, it shows the real-time traffic. So in case of attack or in case of any high traffic, you easily can find it out. Also, you can put a trigger for notification. If the traffic goes higher than this, might be a kind of attack. You want to get notified. For notification, you can provide any trigger, any possible trigger. Link down, link up, packet loss, this, that, anything. So this map is really useful for live monitoring. You may have some kind of latency problem in your network. You can change the duration of props, the interval of props. For example, because your network has high latency, if the server sends prop every 30 seconds, maybe props get unreachable because the latency is too high. So you can change the duration of props every 5 minutes, every 1 hour, or once per day. Depends on your scenario. Also, it has the live graphs. Again, if you put your cursor on either of these links, it shows the traffic of all, any type. I mean, this is the aggregation of that link. So you want to monitor the throughput or the traffic of your customers. You have the CPE in the customer side. You can add your CPE here. You can have the live graph for yourself, although you can export this information for user, and in monthly basis or weekly basis, you can give them their reports. They can see how much they have downloaded, or even if you have a kind of quota or whatever. So these kind of graphs are very useful to provide to your customers. How you can make your map creating devices is the first. First, you need to create devices, then you need to create networks, and then with the help of links, you can connect these devices to networks. So basically it has 3 steps: devices, networks, and connections by links. And to be honest, it has very nice, decent graphs. It's something like PRTG, MRTG, because they are using the same protocol, RRD2. RRD2 is open source graphing protocol. MikroTik is using that, PRTG is using that, any other platform. When you see the same type of graph in here, it means they are using the same protocol. So when you have added your devices, your networks, now with the link you can create connection between, this is the connections in your network, how they have connected. For example, everybody goes through switch and then switch to access router to edge router. You can make correct map in here, exact diagram that you have. Type of links, I told you by default there are 3-4 types of links, like wireless, fiber, Ethernet, gigabit, SFP, something like this, but you can add more. I have already talked about agents. Using agents is very useful when you want to monitor a device that it's not directly reachable. Doesn't have public IP, or because of any reason, maybe because of security, you don't want to make it public. So through the agent between you, your server, Dude server, not your Dude client. You still can use a router between the Dude server and the end device. That one could be the edge router in that network. But you need to provide the agents in here. First, you need to create the agent. Maybe you have multiple agents. First, in the agent tab, you need to create all of your agents, and then you can select your agents in here. If you are monitoring your local network, actually you don't need agents. For notification, MikroTik Dude by default supports 4 types of notifications. If the client computer has the buzzer, some motherboards have the buzzer, it buzzes by itself. If the motherboard already has the buzzer, it can beep. It beeps for you, the computer. It can log to events. Also, it can log to syslog. It can pop up a message to you. These 4 types of notifications. Also, there are different methods for this notification. For example, you can receive them all by email or by text messages, but by default you need to add the GSM modem because Dude itself doesn't have a GSM modem. This is another process. You need to add the GSM modem, then your GSM modem should be able to receive information from the Dude server and send it out. So actually, Dude server, GSM box, there should be API between, because these 2 devices should talk together. Your GSM box should receive information from Dude and should send the notification to you. So 3 things we need here: server, Dude server, GSM box, and the API between these 2. So as you can see, it's not easy to make notification. Yes, email notification is easy, buzz notification or alarm notification is easy, but especially for text messages, it's not easy. Now, I just want to introduce you to an application and a device actually, which called Untitled. Untitled is our product. We have developed the operating system. This is fully based on MikroTik. Because of this reason, the name is like MikroTik. Untitled means interactive GSM and email notification. The monitoring side is so much look like Dude. It monitors like dude, it configures like dude, same thing like dude, with one more feature, which is GSM notification. It means we have already embedded the GSM modem inside the box. You may have one box. It has the dude server, it has the iGentic application, it has the GSM modem, and also there is the API between. So it's integrated box. It has the place to slide your SIM card. You can slide your SIM card, and then there is the page to configure what type of notification you want to get. For example, there is hierarchical level in your network. The technical manager should receive critical errors or critical logs, but your technical team should receive every single logs. All of them are configurable. iGentic is based on MikroTik platform with customizable GUI interface to notify anything you imagine. So you can notify anything you imagine. By default, there is a list of like 200 protocols to get notification of them. But even if you need something to monitor, but it's not included there, because we have already developed the API, we can integrate it for you to be compatible with your system. I don't know. For example, you are the hotel, you are the resort, you want to monitor check-in and check-out process of your hotel by iGentic. Because the hotel application is already integrated with MikroTik hotspot. It means when the reception of the hotel checks in the passenger, the hotspot username password automatically generates. If you have the voucher printer, it already automatically prints for you. So you can integrate this also to iGentic. At the same time, your passenger can get messages or emails, welcome to this hotel, your password is this, that. So any kind of integration would be possible. This application is free, up to 100 sensors. If you are working with PRTG already, you know what's the sensors, because PRTG is the sensor based. We compare ourselves with PRTG, even the monitoring side with PRTG. But same as Dude, even PRTG has not integrated the text messages notification by default. You need to configure it. So the monitoring more or less is like Dude or PRTG. It gives you the graph, live graph. Also it gives you the history of connectivity. There are two types of deployment. For example, iGentic could be something separated of your network and from B side monitors your network. Or the other approach is something that your iGentic is actually through the traffic. It's located through the traffic. Traffic passes the iGentic because iGentic should receive information. So there are two types of deployments. It's exactly the same as Dude, but with GSM notification. Dude is free application, it's very powerful, and at least for me it's some kind of replacement of SolarWinds. Yes, SolarWinds is very advanced, lots of features, but normally you don't need that much features. Because of those features you have to pay a lot. SolarWinds is not cheap, but Dude is free. And it gives you 60%, 70% of same features as SolarWinds. So right now, you even can download it from MikroTik website and you easily can use it. Any questions? Smart Telecom. Can you give the microphone to them?
Can we mark the packets in MikroTik? Like if it's like HTTP or HTTPS, can we do it?
Mark the packet in MikroTik router?
Yep.
Sure, you can. In Mangle, you can mark.
It will in syslog, dump it in syslog, or?
Where you mean? In Dude server, you mean?
Yep. In the MikroTik itself.
In MikroTik servers, for sure, you can mark any type of, you can mark three types of traffics: packets, connections, or routing.
Yeah, okay, it's like Can we say that it's like it's going to the Facebook traffic? Can we just find out?
Any types of traffic, you decide which type of traffic you want to mark. In Mangle, you can mark any types of traffic.
We could.
For example, you want to mark Facebook traffic and you want to redirect it somewhere else. You have two links, ISP1, ISP2. You want to use ISP2 only for Facebook traffic. You can mark routing mark the Facebook traffic and redirect it to the second link.
Okay, about CHR, right? Cloud one. We have like we have just downloaded the ISO and
CHR, you mean?
Yep. We just downloaded the ISO. Does it have like limitations of creating number of network interfaces?
For sure, by default should have marking feature because Mangle is a kind of basic features of one.
For CHR, does it come with the limitations of number of interfaces?
The limitation is all about the speed in CHR. You know, CHR is exactly the same as router OS. It's a router OS, but it has a difference in license, and license has the limitation on speed. As he said, they have limited to 1 megabit, I think. But all the features of router OS already supported in CHR.
Lastly, at what time does the firewall loads?
What time does the firewall load?
I just rebooted the router, right? So at what time does the firewall rule loads? At the end or at the beginning?
You're talking about the packet flow diagram. You need to read the packet flow diagram. Once the router comes up, then depends on input interface and output interface. Once the packet gets in, the very first layer 3 chain that grabs your packet is pre-routing. So pre-routing has higher priority than even forward, than post-routing. This is packet flow diagram. In wiki.mikrotik.com, just search for packet flow diagram, you can find it out.
It will prioritize the routing protocol first, or?
It's router OS feature. It's router, it doesn't care about CHR or something, it's router OS feature.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Hello.
Sorry, it was your turn.
I'm from Smart Telecom. Generally, I am using this Dude for monitoring all the traffic, our Avis traffic.
Version 3 or version 6?
The Dude.
So it has two versions, version 3, version 6. Your server and client both are in the same machine or different machines?
Actually, it is the Windows machine.
So I think it's version 3, okay.
I have a question on that. You recently dropped the server version for Windows. Is there any possibility that the Dude server will come to the Windows in the future versions?
You still can use the legacy version, but we recommend you to use version 6. Why MikroTik separated the server version and client version? Because they do different role.
Yes.
They have different responsibilities. Better to not be in the same machine.
Dude is as much as useful for non-router board OS as well. So, is there any possibility?
You know, for client, so you use version 3. The only possibility.
I think there will not be any support on that for that person.
Virtual machine, you can use, yeah, he talked about CHR version also. Yeah, virtual machine is also available.
Okay, thank you. And another question for Isentic. What are the hardware requirements?
It has the hardware by itself.
Is there any GSM modules?
It are integrated.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but version 6 of Dude is much better than version 3. Maybe you feel it's the same because they have the same interface, but lots of different features. Okay. Any questions? Again, thank you very much. Good luck and enjoy your mom. It's your turn. Let me. Yes.
Hello? Yeah. So, thank you, Mani. And we still have a few presentations. Next one is by Shamal Budatoki, and he will be talking about hotspot management. And after that, we have a short talk about Academy, and then we have lottery and free beer. Remember, don't go away. I will drink your beer, and I will take your prizes if you're not here. Do you want handheld microphone? Or
If it's handheld, it's okay.
handheld?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. So I'll turn
Hello?
it off. Just a second, I have to turn off the camera.